Jacob.
And I'm Alden.
And we're both teachers at a Canadian school in China.
And we're searching for answers.
But poorly.
So that makes us real human beings.
This is our podcast where we talk about random stuff like movies, TV shows, music.
Life in China, teaching, politics, sports, pretty much whatever we're interested in.
So what's on the schedule today?
We just saw The Last Jedi. Here's our thoughts about it.
So where did we go for the New Year's?
We went skiing.
Do you remember the name?
Happy Snowland?
Yeah, it was Happy Snow World.
Close enough.
No sad snow allowed. Only happy snow here.
66% correct.
That's usual.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. Real Human Beings back at you with episode 16.
Cool. Well, hey, it's us again. It's been a little while.
It's 2018.
It's 2018. We're planning on doing a special re-release, retro review
A retro
of our episode 1.
A re-review.
A what?
A re-review.
Yeah. Coming up in a little bit, but for now we're going with this one because I wanted to talk to you guys. We haven't done anything over December, so we're coming back, and the first thing we have to talk is the new Star Wars.
Right.
Something inside me has always been there. But now it's awake. And I need help.
I've seen this raw strength only once before. It didn't scare me enough then. It does now. Let the past die. Kill it. If you have to. That's the only way to become what you were meant to be.
Star Wars Episode 9? Episode 8.
Episode 8.
Episode 8. The Last Jedi.
Yes, a film that we've been anticipating deeply.
Yeah, so it didn't get released here in China until
No, I don't know.
January 5th, I believe. 5th, I believe.
What day is it today?
So for some of you guys, you might have already seen it. Today's like the 7th.
Ugh.
Is it 7th?
Gross.
Why is it gross?
It's just time. It's going fast.
2 days?
Yeah.
So you guys might have seen it already. For anybody who hasn't, this is going to be a spoiler-filled review, as with everything else that we do. So
skip to like the
Apologize about
40-ish
that.
minute mark. That's probably
Probably.
a safe amount of time.
So anyways, Alden, time for your man on the street. What is this? What is this story
Right,
about?
okay. So we pick up where we sort of left off. Rey is on the island staring at Luke for a very long time. And then he's all sassy, and he doesn't want to teach her. Meanwhile, the Resistance, which apparently is a bigger deal now, and the First Order, which is also a bigger deal now, who've been conquering the galaxy. News to me.
Gloss over that.
Yeah, they're fighting it out in space. They're being chased around. We have a tense opening scene where bombers come. Man on the Street, I would say it's a Star Wars film about redemption and love.
That's actually not. That's not too far off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a lot like Episode 5.
Yeah, sure.
In that we have a long period where we're in the belly of the beast, where we are at a low point. There's a series of events that occur back to back to back, where it's like, this is the worst it could be. But did you think it could get even worse?
And
now it's even
that's
worse.
kind of the end of the 5th one too.
Yeah.
Is the fact that that's the darkest, and and they're at their lowest point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in between all that stuff, so we have Rey off on the island being taught or not taught by Luke.
Yeah.
We also have Finn and Poe trying to stay alive as the First Order comes down on them, and we're introduced to a couple new characters who have to go off to like a heist essentially, which I really enjoyed.
They have to go find this master hacker to get into to disable the tracker.
Yeah, to do this plan thing,
Yeah.
and then so basically we have a bunch. We have like three
New
stories kind
Yeah.
of going on at once in that sense, and then they all kind of come together, and then
Right.
there's a big dramatic fight on a salty planet, not a snowy planet,
but it looks like snow.
Looks like snow. But it's actually salt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have to point that out too. They have to get the guy to say it's salt, so people aren't go like it's just like, because the big criticism for episode 7 was that it's exactly like A New Hope. So they made sure to reinforce people it's not like Empire Strikes Back. This is a different planet. We put it at the end too, very smartly. Put it at the end rather than the beginning. Because I thought they were going to go, when I saw the trailer and they showed that scene, I thought that'd be right at the beginning.
Yeah.
I thought they'd be like they do the classique right at the beginning.
So the big thing about this is one thing that Alden and I have not actually been reading or anything. We didn't read any spoilers. We were this totally blind.
Yeah.
But one of the things that we've both found interesting in smatterings of like stuff that just gets around, not necessarily in the articles, but the fact that the fans
Don't like it, or mixed.
have mixed feelings. So, for example, there was a screenshot on what is it? Rotten Tomatoes. I forget when I took it, but like December 16th, I think. The tomato meter for top critics says that it's 93%, whereas the audience score says it's 58. So the very different.
This is the thinking man Marvel's universe.
Well, so I think maybe later on we might like actually read up on this
Sure.
and see what it is. But just like, give me a prediction. Why do you think that audience members didn't like it?
I think it's too not like Star Wars. I think it. This is what I was very excited about for this movie, is that it seemed to break a lot of the sacred cows of Star Wars.
Yeah.
Just from the fans' reactions.
Yeah.
I mean, like hell, there was a screenshot of a poster that a cinema put up saying, there are 10 seconds of silence in this film. This is not a mistake. This is part of the film. Because there's this very powerful scene where it just drops to...
It's really good.
It's
really good.
Because you don't
And
always
also-
have to have noise.
And also, like, why wouldn't people understand that that's supposed to be in there?
Yeah.
I don't.
I think it was blown
Anyways.
kind of out of proportion because they quickly took the sign down like the next day.
Oh, okay.
But I think it was sort of humorous, and like I think there were people complaining about it. And I remember that a lot of people also felt that Luke Skywalker didn't get the proper treatment that he deserves as being a Jedi legend and warrior. Which, if they had been watching the movie, is kind of the whole fucking point.
It's weird
is that
because
he's not supposed to be a legend and a champion.
It's almost a meta commentary on the thing itself, you know?
Me and Jacob have been talking a lot about Fight Club recently, how the movie gets misinterpreted by a lot of people. They view it as an answer rather than a satirical view. And I think Star Wars is suffering from this now too, where the movie kind of flew over the head.
So
of
it's
some people.
suffering from its fans.
Yeah.
I would...
That's what I think.
I don't know, because again, I haven't read
reviews.
anything about this, but
I know what
would
4chan
say...
thinks about it.
Yeah, so you were 4channing, which is...
That's where I got spoiled in the 10 seconds of silence.
So sad.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to be... I do want to be just an asshole then and say like, yeah, I think for a lot of people maybe they just didn't get it or appreciate the difference as much because this is a different movie. But throughout the whole entire movie, I was saying, yes, this is what I want. I love this. This is great.
Still, the way I describe it is that it doesn't have the same structure as Star Wars. I think it loses a lot of the old structure, but it has the emotion back, which is something The Force Awakens lacked because it had the structure.
I thought I was okay with.
No, it had moments.
I don't think Force Awakens was great.
Structurally,
I thought it was
much
okay.
more Star Wars.
Yeah,
because it was just A New Hope.
One of the big differences I will say about this is the fact that it changes into more of a Marvel movie, which is interesting because Disney also owns Marvel. Yeah. Now we're going to see the crossover of like the Star Wars and thing. So there's characters who are quipping, they're making jokes, they're having fun, and you know what? I had fun alongside them, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I think the fact that they're doing this is great. We went back and we watched the first episode, actually, the episode 4, New Hope, and and honestly, like it trends towards that in that too. So why not just go full scale? Yeah, you're sick. He's still sick. He's gonna shiver throughout all this.
Yeah,
wear his coat.
I'm cold. I'll be like Luke in the movie.
wearing your hood.
Wear my hood. Do it.
So, like, I guess I understand why people think it's different, because it certainly is a different movie, but it's for the best.
Yeah.
It's
like
it's
now
updating.
I'm laughing during the movie.
Yeah.
Like there were jokes. I mean, there were bad jokes. Don't get me wrong. There were parts.
There were some great moments though, like the heist and the kind of lower stakes. This is a movie that they don't have a Star Killer base, spoilers,
Thankfully.
which we already said.
Yeah.
They have instead, it's almost like a race against time, because the rebel forces are trying to outdo the First Order, and it's all like, oh, we don't have enough fuel for this type of thing. So they've set up a scenario where they have to run away, and that's very simple.
Yeah, and
that doesn't take place. Honestly, that's not
8
over
hours.
a lot of time.
It's
Yeah,
like 8 hours.
And
the big
that's
explosion
cool.
too is like big, but it's not like a planet blowing up.
Yeah, it's
Right.
like it's like
Some ships blowing up.
Yeah, exactly. I'm cool with it. Alden,
Yeah.
what's one thing? Give me one thing that you liked.
I really liked about the film.
Yeah, what's one moment? Give me one moment.
Okay, the moment that I really liked was when we have. It's so stupid, but it was like getting the thrill back. It's when the Millennium Falcon's driving through like the red crystals, and it's just. But it has the music, the bum 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 bum. It's got that classic like John Williams pumping score, and I'm like, oh shit, yeah! Like it's getting me pumped. This is getting me hyped.
Yeah.
Which is something that was like kind of missing.
Yeah.
Like I felt that there were a bit more stakes involved. Like that was like. That was a moment where I sort of had like that, and like seeing like Luke face off against Kylo Ren. I think that was also
Yeah,
cool.
cool. Yeah. So
What about you, Jacob?
one of the because I had a ton, so I'm just gonna go through a couple. One of my favorites was the inclusion of a new character played by Kelly Marie Tran, Rose. I really liked her character.
Yeah.
She's an engineer who
Her sister dies.
whose sister dies in the opening scene.
Yeah.
And this is the thing. I had way more connection to her and her sister, who's in it for all of
2 seconds.
30 seconds, than anybody in Rogue One.
Yeah.
This movie is so much better at getting across its characters.
Well,
and
it opens
its
with her
things there.
crying.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, she's sad.
Well,
And then, like, her initial reaction of, like, towards Finn, she's
although, I mean, I will say, like, it's a little bit sad the fact that you have to be like, oh, she's the other Asian character, so she's going to be, of course, that's her sister.
Yeah. But she's like the fangirl when she first sees Finn, and then she like.
And then
sees
she
his-
like shocks him, and the thing that I loved about her character in particular is that I think it works so well with Finn because he's a janitor,
He's a
and
support-
she's like an engineer, and
they're
they're
both
both
nerdy-
support.
they're both nerding out over tech stuff.
Yeah, and they're what they pin their hopes on in the
Yeah.
end, and it doesn't work out. Like that's one thing that I really thought was interesting about this movie too is the fact that the good guys' plan fails a couple times.
They're at really low points.
Yeah,
multiple times.
But their original plan is to hack into this other thing, and it all rests on Finn and Rose.
This is
And
another.
So I really liked her, and I'm so glad that she didn't die.
Another example
mine.
of having a character developed through not relations with other ships. I think Phasma fails as a character because she only is used.
This is a bad part.
Yeah. My bad thing was, I think one of the flaws that Rogue One suffered from, and one of the flaws that the movie suffered from, was it was kind of muddled in how it wanted to approach characters and how it wanted to like introduce us giving a shit about them. So like Phasma.
Really?
No. Hold on. Let me explain. Rose was a great example of like that working. Because we show her in a void. Like, she's crying, we know that she's sad. DJ, as a character who's Benicio del Toro, he doesn't, like...
I want to get to him later.
The only thing we know about Phasma, who's, I think, the weakest character, she just hates Finn for some arbitrary reason.
Because he's a traitor.
But, like, why? He's a janitor. Why would she know the janitor?
Because
it's a huge army. It's a massive army.
Because she tells him, she's like, I'm going to check your blaster in the first one. I agree. I don't think it's
weird.
Great,
it's like...
But I think Phasma's better served in this movie, and she would have... I don't know why they killed her off.
Yeah.
That's my thing.
Yeah.
That's my bad thing of, like, why did they kill her?
Yeah.
Why did they
Keep
bother
her
doing
alive.
that? Keep her alive. Keep her as another antagonist.
Yeah.
We're killing off a lot of main
they kill off a lot of
characters
people here.
A lot of things, so...
So
you want to talk about DJ?
I just like how DJ was presented.
Who is DJ?
Benicio del Toro. He's a stuttering thief which I really like that he had a stutter.
When they have to go on this heist planet, they
Yeah.
have to on this heist. They have to go to this casino planet,
Yeah.
which is pretty interesting because it's like a commentary on the 1% or something.
Yeah.
And Benicio del Toro's character is one of the guys in there who's this like thief.
Yeah.
He's got a stutter, like you said.
Yeah, he's an
and he
interesting
helps
character.
them get out,
sort of helps them, and he's
and then he betrays them.
yeah, but he's
very Jack Sparrow-esque.
He's interesting to me because he doesn't need to explain himself through relationships. He just explains himself through his actions. Like, you know what he is right away.
Yeah.
Just like how we know what Rose is right away. She's really excited to meet Finn, and then she's angry that he betrayed her.
But like it's different. It works better in this than it does Rogue One
Because in Rogue One they don't do it. They just he's the best Imperial pilot that we have. Bodhi is good.
They just tell them. They don't show them.
Or they just
you
talk
mean?
to each other.
Is that what you mean?
Yeah, it's just like this.
Like it's shown. It's,
Well,
it's
the only
told, not shown.
reason that we know that she's like angry about her father dying in Rogue One is because she says that she's angry. Basically.
By the way, guys, we didn't like Rogue One.
we really didn't like Rogue One.
I really don't like Rogue One.
I'm
This
a
was
little
way
bit more forgiving
was
about
way
Rogue One
better.
than Jacob, but I still.
This was way better. I was gonna say.
you
I was
talk
gonna
about
point
DJ.
out DJ. One of the specific points was Benicio del Toro. I think he does a great job. He's not in it for that long.
No.
He ends up betraying them.
Yeah.
Because he's a neutral evil character.
Yeah.
He's in it for himself.
Yeah.
He's in it. And when they get captured, he's like, "Yeah, of course I'm gonna betray you because
Yeah.
like I
Dedoy.
don't want to get killed."
Yeah.
Dedoy.
But it is
and that makes
interesting that he
total
gives the
sense.
medallion back, though.
Yeah, that's true.
He does-
But here's the main thing that I wanted to say about him is it doesn't really have to do with his character. It has to do with a speech that he gives where he talks about how the people on this planet
Yeah.
are all
Arms dealers.
arms dealers.
Yeah.
And Finn tells him, he's like, "You stole a ship? Like, at least you're stealing it from the bad guys." And Billy Del Toro is like, "Bad guys, good guys,
Yeah.
whatever."
And he
he says, "Okay, let's see who your guy did." And it shows that he was selling weapons to both
Sides, yeah.
the guy, the stolen ship was selling weapons to both the First Order and the Rebellion.
Yeah.
And he says, there's no such thing as like
Yeah.
these. There's only this. There's only
Yeah.
war. And this is a weird
Commentary.
ass
Yeah.
meta commentary on like Disney itself,
Yeah.
being like it's a perpetual money making machine. They're just going to keep on making this war and
Yeah.
keep on like profiting.
Yeah.
Like Disney themselves is
Yeah.
like the 1%, which is weird because then they go on this like
I don't think
kind of
Disney-
rampage past
I don't
past
think
the
Disney's
1%ers.
aware enough to notice that.
I don't know. I think it can be interpreted that way though, which is
No, I know,
just
but
interesting.
I
It's
just don't
interesting
think-
that
No, I
scene
believe
came
that you
out
should
there.
interpret
Yeah.
it that way.
Yeah.
But like, it's also nice to see a person who's not related to the Resistance or the New Order. Like he's
Yeah,
just like
the First Order?
He's just the First Order.
Yeah.
He's just like a guy.
Yeah, yeah. And he says like, "Hey, don't die for yourself," right?
Another good moment.
Good moment. Yeah, go for
Good
it.
moment. Kylo Ren at the end. I think he's become not just a villain but an antagonist. I like that he's like said, "I want to clean the slate," and he has a reason to believe that, and you can understand where he's coming from.
So he says, he wants to.
He kills Snoke. First off, he kills Snoke.
Yeah, spoilers. He and it's compelling because it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Given the stuff that we learn about him and his training
Yeah.
with Luke and his understanding of his relationship with his father.
Yeah.
Of course, he'd want to tear everything down and
Clean
build up
slate.
anew.
Yeah.
He wants to build anew, and he offers it to Rey. He's like, we should start up again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought Kylo
And, like-
Ren was great,
and he's not- he's
Adam
no-
Driver
yeah.
awesome in this movie.
He's no longer like again. I think a lot of the strengths of this movie came from people who like are good at acting. Like that's another thing too. Like don't get me wrong, they're all competent to good actors, but
Yeah.
like when you see like Adam Driver
Yeah.
on screen, there's a certain like one-upmanship.
You think?
I think he's just a better actor than
What
some
do
people.
you think he was the best actor? We'll get to that later, but like
Honestly, I'm kind of tempted to say Benicio del Toro, but that's because he's got a
for the
soft-
tiny little
tiny little bit he's
thing
got.
he has. Okay. Is it? You want? Can I go?
Yeah, okay.
One of my favorite scenes, maybe my favorite scene, was Rey's training.
Yeah.
When she's on the island,
Yeah.
specifically the first lesson she has.
Yeah.
There's a little bit where Luke is training her and he tells her like close your eyes
Yeah.
and reach out,
She-
and she like literally reaches
her
out
hand,
at
yeah.
first with her hand,
Yeah.
and he like tickles her with he like rolls his eyes and he tickles her with like a little piece of grass. She's like, oh my god, I feel it. And he's like, you feel it, really, really? And then he like hits her hand,
Yeah.
and it's just that part's funny
Yeah.
again, and that's probably the reason why people didn't like it. But like
But
I was
then-
like, that's a great little
Yeah.
moment. The greater thing which hit me in my heart
Yeah.
was like she was talking about the Force and how it all comes together
Life,
and binds us.
death, death,
it was this
warmth,
really great
cold.
like,
Yeah.
and the photography was so beautiful.
Yeah.
Of like these like
Plants
just
growing.
the plants growing, yeah, and the
skeleton
and the
underneath.
waters,
Yeah.
and the and it was just this Buddhist like
Yeah.
philosophy or something.
The idea
about,
that
this
like
all
the force,
being connected.
the
you know?
force is the balance between two opposites, between a dichotomy.
Yeah, and it's like it brings back a mysticism which
Yeah.
really hit me.
Yeah, they really make the force trippy in this. Like they have like force talking, force communication over.
We're
like,
gonna get to some. That's
large
one
areas.
of my other ones.
One
that
of my
I really
favorite, to sort of piggyback off that point, I really like that as well. But I also like that the dark side is not like I think it's easy to misunderstand it as being like an evil thing in the ground. But Rey, eventually she goes to this place that's like the dark side on the island. It's this hole that leads down to the water. It's like a water spout. It's got kelp growing on it. And it looks evil. She falls down, she swims up, and then there's this rock wall that's like cracked, and it reflects the person like infinite times.
Well, okay, we're gonna skip over here because I want to do another
Sure.
one that I like. I really love this scene.
Yeah.
This is like the meeting with the whatever in the belly of the beast.
Yeah.
And this is the same thing that happens in episode 4
Yeah.
or 5 when Luke
Is
goes
in
into the forest and
Yeah.
he sees himself and he has that trippy weird thing
Yeah.
where he. It's the same. It's the same, essentially the same
Yeah.
scene, except this one is like she's in front of a mirror.
Yeah.
But then it's like repeating, and
Yeah.
she repeats infinitely.
Yeah, and she's trying to see
very
like
trippy.
she's trying to see what her parents are, and like the whole point of that scene, and I think maybe, again, I'm being pretentious here. It's lost on some people. The dark side isn't about like evil. It's about an imbalance. It's about an obsession.
Yeah.
It's about a desire, a selfish internal, and maybe the selfish thing can be.
I think that's a good way of thinking of
Yeah.
it is because she is at the dark side and she wants to see her parents because that's kind of her whole entire quest.
Yeah.
And that's an interesting dichotomy between the light side is all about thinking about everything outside of you.
Yeah.
When she's accessing the light side,
Yeah.
she feels like life and death
Yeah.
and warmth and cold, like
Yeah.
she goes on and talks about. But the dark side, she's all focused on herself
Yeah.
and like
Yeah,
gaining her own thing. And maybe that's
yeah.
the dichotomy or
Yeah.
something.
Well, I think Kylo also exemplifies it too, because he moves to kill Snoke and he helps Rey, and he's not trying to like seduce her, but just sort of much more convince her that like you can make your own path with
Right.
me,
Yeah.
and like that's the dark side technically, because you're ignoring the natural harmony and balance in the world. But that's it, really, and like that's what we see too with Luke Skywalker at the end. Fighting Kylo Ren, we see balance versus imbalance.
We're gonna get to that too
Yeah.
later. Can I give one
Negative?
criticism?
Yeah, sure.
Negative. I thought this one was a little long.
Yeah,
A little long. I think they could have tightened this up.
Yeah, it was muddled at
Yeah.
parts. There was a lot of jumping back and forth between the three stories.
Or I think like it could have they could have shortened it up more.
Yeah, there were some
like they could
scenes-
have just come back,
Like there were some scenes that like, why
cut
is
back
it in
on.
there?
Yeah, cut back
Yeah.
on a little bit. It's 2.5 hours.
It felt longer.
Felt longer to you. It feels exactly the right to me. Like 2.5 hours. Felt like 2.5 hours. Just like the amount of this podcast.
Yeah, felt
2.5 hour long, baby. That's what I'm aiming for.
Yeah, but boom.
Do you have any negative?
Honestly, the reason I'm going to talk about the moments that made me tear up, that made me felt emotional.
Is that bad? No, these are good ones.
These are good ones.
That's fine. If you don't have any bad ones,
The negative, honestly, just it could have used some tightening.
Yeah.
It could have used some cutting of
we
certain
agree on
scenes.
that.
Yeah,
Okay.
and there were some lines like she has spunk and like
Yeah, that was a
odd
weird
dialogue
Yeah,
choices
Snoke-
that I
Snoke-
feel like could
Snoke.
Snoke.
Snoke sees Rey and
Also-
he's like, she's got spunk.
Spoilers here. Snoke's just a dude. Snoke's just a guy.
Yeah.
And there's no big reveal.
Yeah.
He's just a guy.
Kylo kills him.
Yeah, he's just a guy.
He's very powerful.
Yeah.
But, like,
Yeah.
he's also tricked.
Yeah.
So.
Which is cool. I like that. So the
something
moments.
you teared.
Okay.
One thing that teared.
The
you
two
teared
moments. Let's go back.
You'll do two? Okay.
Oh, because
Alright,
I have
go
two
for it.
moments that teared up. The first one was when Leia saves herself. People got mad about the fact Leia.
Okay, what happens with Leia?
So Leia's on the bridge,
yeah,
and
floating.
Kylo's flying in. She's on the bridge of a ship, and Kylo and his TIE fighters are swooping in, and he's lining up a shot, and then he doesn't shoot her. But
Yeah,
then his
he
two TIE
decides not
fighter
to.
buds do shoot her,
Yeah.
and she's blasted out into space, and she's floating in space, and you're like, oh, she's dead. But then she force powers herself back onto the ship.
Yeah.
Like she reaches out and she swoops down. And I actually quite liked that because
Yeah.
like she is a Skywalker. Like she is
She has her
the
own powers.
She
She has
the
Force, yes.
Like and
This is like confirmation of
Yes.
it. Because like we talked... Because in episode 6,
Yeah.
Yoda's like, there is another.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, why would you even bring that
Yeah.
up?
And it's
like
cool to
Leia,
like the fact that she's always been about hope and like she's clearly a much more like balanced individual, and it's like a way of
Yeah.
showing like power
Way better.
that is like not expressed through violence but through leadership.
Yeah.
and like the
and,
fact that she saves herself is like a cool demonstration of that. I do admit it's kind of hokey. But it did make me like the music swelling and
I
like
think-
seeing her move her arm and like, oh yeah, here comes, and then she like swoop. It's like
Yeah,
cool.
I think-
And it's
I
like
think-
a good moment.
I think I'll give another one is the fact that she like gives up control.
Yeah.
There's
Poe.
one part. There's one part where Poe Dameron, who's the hotshot pilot played by Oscar Isaac.
There's character growth in this film by the buckets.
Yeah, I want to
Yeah.
get to him too.
Yeah.
He's another one. But like he has this plan, and everyone like looks to Princess Leia, and she's like, "Why are you looking at me? Go follow him."
Yeah.
And that's like again a meta commentary on the series as
Yeah.
a whole too.
Passing on the reins.
Passing it on.
Yeah.
Which brings me to one of the parts that made me tear up was Luke's death.
Yeah.
Luke's death. We can get to the fight later, but specifically his death, he does this really powerful force thing.
Yeah.
And he's like collapsed on this
Rock.
island
Yeah.
where he
projects his force ghost outwards and fights.
across the galaxy pretty much. He projects an illusion of himself.
Yeah.
And so I understood it as it like took a lot out of him.
Yeah.
And so he comes up and he sits back on the rock and he's like sitting there and the sun is going down.
It's two suns.
Yeah,
like
and
on Tatooine.
it's like it's this really sweet, and then he just disappears like
Yeah.
the Force Ghost thing,
Yeah.
and it's this really sweet thing. And Rey even says like Rey says shit. She felt Luke, but not like he's at peace now.
Yeah.
He's not.
Yeah.
He's like whatever, and
Yeah.
that's nice because it's like that's Luke's arc in this. He goes from being a reluctant teacher to just accepting,
Yeah.
you know, and really, you had the point of like when we're talking about like the dark side
Yeah.
was within us,
Yeah.
Being selfish or whatever. He doesn't forgive
Kylo.
He forgives himself. He forgives Luke. Luke forgives Luke.
Yeah.
Instead of Luke forgiving
He's like, I
Kylo.
failed you.
Yeah,
And in the final
he
fight,
admits it, and he says it, and that's really great.
Yeah.
I love that arc.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have another one, or do you want
Another
to talk
touching
about
moment.
Yoda? Or another touching.
The one that actually really teared me up, weirdly, was when the Vice Admiral says goodbye to Leia for whatever reason. I don't know why that got me for some reason.
So there's a Vice Admiral
Admiral.
played by Laura Dern,
Yeah.
and she just takes over. She's a minor character in this,
Yeah.
but she's not. She hasn't really been introduced.
yeah, but she's sort of
before.
like sassy and
Yeah.
hard-eyed and like
Yeah, and she says no to Poe, and he's
Yeah.
like this hotshot dude
And
who
eventually
like always does it.
he
who always gets
rebels
his way.
against her and tries to like
And it
coup
doesn't work for him.
No.
Which again is something that I thought was
Yeah.
really cool because
He
I
fails.
assumed that they were just gonna win, but
Yeah.
Poe's plan
fails.
doesn't work.
Yeah. And so
Yeah.
she had a plan, and then she has to stay behind on the ship to like sort of distract the First Order. And Leia says like, "May the Force be with you," or there's sort of this awkward
The
moment.
Force be with you always.
Yeah, and it's like this moment of like
She's like, "Oh, I've said it enough. Here,
Yeah.
you say it now."
And it's-
Which again is another
Yeah.
example of Leia passing the
Yeah.
reins off to somebody else.
and it's like this moment where I didn't expect to tear up, but I did.
That's a weird part.
Where-
I wouldn't have.
And I was just
Yeah.
sort of like, man, like for whatever reason, just like the sincerity behind her tone
Uh-huh.
and like the surroundings and like what she's deciding to do and like, okay, this is what I'm doing. And like that-
she's giving herself up.
and that she's also like willing to sacrifice and that she's like forgives Poe too. Like she's like, he's an idiot, but like
But I
can't
like.
say-
She says,
can't-
"I like him."
I can't say I would have
Yeah.
done different. Like it's basically she's like, well, I
Yeah.
understand where he's coming from. Like
Yeah.
there's that moment of like,
Yeah, that's so great.
Yeah, there's like
Ugh. When you say that, it makes me like even more. I'm like, oh yeah, that was good.
yeah, it's a good little moment.
a
And I
good
don't
moment.
know. And sorry, we'll jump back to you now.
Well,
I
I
have
was just
one
going
more
to talk
moment.
about
One more moment.
I was just going to talk about Yoda.
Okay, sure.
This is a bad. This is for me mixed.
Okay.
Because Yoda
Shows up.
shows up. I really liked what Yoda had to say, and I
Yes.
really liked the ideas, and I really loved that it was Frank Oz's voice.
Yeah.
I think the CGI doesn't work so well.
No.
Like it really.
It worked later on in the scene though, which was
It
weird.
did. It did. When it first came up, it was a little abrupt because it was like half. It
Yeah.
looks
Weird.
uncanny valley. It wasn't quite CGI because everyone complained about CGI, but it wasn't like a puppet.
But then at the end, it kind of was. I couldn't
couldn't really tell. I really liked how Yoda says a lot of cool stuff about
Yeah.
like he convinces Luke Luke's very emotional. He's going to burn down all the books in the Jedi Order because he thinks that he's failed Rey once again. And Yoda, Force Ghost, brings down a lightning strike and and burns it for him.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Have you read those books?
Yeah. They're useless.
Page turners. They were not."
Yeah.
Which I love. And he tells him, like, being a master is about what? Is about watching the things grow
beyond you,
or something like
and
that.
failure is one of the greatest.
Yeah, failure is the greatest teacher.
Yeah.
A failure is the greatest teacher, and it's like, could he say like a failure of the student or a failure the teacher is a failure? It was this really touching moment, and it was really good. I will say that the CGI, but yeah, you have one more moment.
Oh, just Rose and Finn when so Finn's doing this like suicidal charge.
Yeah.
And Rose comes sweeping in and like
I really liked Rose in this
crashes
one,
into him, and then she's like, "You idiot! It's about love, you dumbass." Like,
well, she says, it's not. We're not going to win by killing what we hate. We're going to save what we love.
yeah,
And then she like kisses him.
yeah.
And that was like,
It was good. It was
damn.
good. It was good.
yeah, I really liked her character in this.
Yeah.
One for me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to Poe.
Yeah.
We mentioned him before.
Yeah.
And he goes from the very first scene. He does a bombing run on this really important ship, and he destroys it, and it's this thing. But he loses like
All the bombers,
all like a ton of his squadron, and so he goes from being this guy, and then he has this like this crazy plan where the janitor and the engineer are gonna go get this guy on a casino planet and then break into the thing.
Yeah,
and then as soon as like as soon as he tells them, they're like, "What? Why would you have done that?
so stupid."
And he tries a mutiny, and then he gets knocked out again, and then that's the scene where Laura Dern's character is like, I still like him though, even though he tried to mutiny. And he goes from doing all that to the final battle, changing his ways, and he tells Finn, "No, we can't. We have to break off our attack. They're attacking another cannon thing," and this is like a similar idea to Poe's decision in the beginning. He changes his mind, and he realizes, he's learning more about leadership, and he's learning more about what it takes.
Yeah.
And
then we see
that was
with
great.
Leia passing off the reins.
That was great. It was character growth and character development, and I loved it because I didn't really care that much about Poe in the first movie. Yeah. I thought Oscar Isaac was very charismatic, but like I didn't really know who he was or anything. And this one really gave us that. So yeah. Anyways, that was great.
That was great.
Just a little side thing. In The Last Jedi, they had these little like side placards anytime a character was introduced.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, and they like recapped like the people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about porgs? That's
Porgs.
That's the only other thing I have
Porgs.
written down.
Are you a fan of porgs, Jacob? Are you on the side of porgs?
I thought porgs weren't that bad.
No, porgs were not
I
that
thought
bad.
porgs were alright.
I thought they were going to be like
way more
sentient.
Yeah.
Like not just
no,
like...
they kind of. So the porgs just they're like inhabitants of this island that Mark Hamill has been hiding out at.
Yeah.
And
there's also like caretakers.
And yeah, there's caretakers. And that's the funny thing is Rey keeps on. There's these caretakers who are like these basically the custodial staff.
Yeah.
They clean up after the island and stuff, and they like they're doing all this stuff, and Rey keeps on
breaking shit,
messing up and breaking stuff, and Luke says like, "Oh, they don't like you very much." She's like, "I don't know why." It's like, "Yeah, I couldn't imagine," because she keeps on like accidentally firing her blaster and like destroying stuff.
But the porgs are just like birds.
Yeah, and they nest inside the Millennium Falcon.
Well, it's because Chewie's wants to eat some of them, and then they're all cute and shit to him, and so he doesn't eat them. And then
and then they inhabit like the Falcon, and they're just there.
Yeah,
I was okay with them. They weren't obnoxious.
Yeah, I was okay with that.
Yeah,
surprisingly okay.
Okay, the last thing that I have before we get to our ratings are predictions.
Oh,
we were 50%.
Yeah,
Alden and I were both 50%.
Together we're 100%.
Alden predicted that Princess Leia and Luke Skywalker were gonna die. And I predicted that they were going to survive. And we were split because Leia lives and
Mark Hamill
dies.
Phasma dies.
Phasma dies.
Snoke dies.
Laura Dern dies, the Vice Admiral.
Yeah. In a very cool scene.
Yeah, that's the part where there's 10 seconds of silence.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hux doesn't die.
Yeah, he doesn't die.
Hux doesn't die. The other thing is Wilhelm watch.
No, happen.
No Wilhelm.
No, Wilhelm.
Again, another movie with no Wilhelm.
Such a tragedy.
I'm very sad about that. And the last thing I kind of want to do: who was the best actor for you? Do you think? Who's the best? Who gave the best performance?
Adam Driver.
Adam Driver.
Yeah.
I respect that. I respect
It's
that.
Kylo Ren.
Runners up are Benicio del Toro and Rose.
And Rose. I'm gonna go actually because I kind of convinced myself a little bit.
Porgs.
Porgs. Yes, Porgs. Those are the ones.
Yeah. Nub nub.
I'm going with actually weird Oscar Isaac.
Oh, okay.
I really liked his turn as Poe Dameron
Yep.
and his change.
Okay.
I don't know. They were all good.
They were all good. That's the
They
thing.
were all good. Yeah, and Adam Driver definitely.
Yeah, they're
Up there.
all good. Hux was kind of
Hux was just a
Hux.
just a sneering villain. That's all
Yeah.
he needed to be.
Yeah.
It was a funny scene at the very beginning
Yeah.
where Poe is being Han Solo-esque, and he's
Yeah.
like, "Hey, can you hear me?"
Yeah.
He's like, "I can hear you. Can you hear me?" It's
Yeah.
like a Skype call or
I've
something.
heard a lot of fans didn't like the comedy.
Of course they didn't.
A lot of the fans.
That's the Marvel part.
They felt the comedy fell flat. They felt that it wasn't appropriate.
I loved it because why not?
They felt it was stupid.
Anyways, all right, let's get to
The fact that Hux was also continually led on too by things, like he's continuously tricked by pretty simple tricks, like
yeah, he is.
like he's pretty
He's kind of your classic just dumb villain.
Yeah.
Well, do you want to do a final score?
Yeah, I'm gonna. Well, I'll give it.
I kind of want to make a sting for final score, like
Final score.
yeah, something like that.
I mean, if I'm being realistic, it would be 9 out of 10. But since I'm a contrarian asshole, 8.9 out of 10.
Why are you giving it that, Alden?
Because I just feel like the story was a bit too long and muddled to warrant giving it that 9. It was like a really good essay with strong ideas, but with like muddled paragraph structure. So I can't quite bring myself.
I think you're literally doing this just to piss me off.
But but let's just say, at the end of the day, if somebody was to ask me, I would say 9 out of 10.
Wow.
In my
That's
head,
so nice
in my
of
heart
you.
of hearts, I would see 8.9.
Excuse me. Yeah, I'm going with 9 out of 10. Yeah. I think this was a great movie. It's up there with the original trilogy. It's the best movie since Empire Strikes Back.
Is it better than A New Hope?
Honestly, I'd have to compare them side by side, but it could be. This was a really great
But do
movie.
you? But
I think
nostalgia goggles would prevent New Hope from being bumped from its position.
Probably.
Yeah.
I think that too. This movie is kind of everything I wanted. When people talked about how they cried during Force Awakens because it was Star Wars, I didn't have that reaction. But to this one, I definitely felt a lot closer to it.
Yeah, much more with the emotion. I feel much stronger with the emotion.
And it was just it was way
some stupid moments. The salt
better.
one is probably the most egregious.
It's fine. The salt stuff was really cool.
It was very cool.
It looked really cool.
It looked really
The
cool.
environment looked really cool.
Yeah, great.
So
designs.
for me, 9 out of 10.
For me,
9 out of 10.
9 out of 10.
Cool.
Go see this movie if you haven't already.
Yeah, you'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
I hope.
Yeah.
Tell us what you think on our Twitter page or our Instagram.
We'll set up a poll.
What's the poll?
Did you like Phantom Menace or Last Jedi?
All right, weigh in on that. When we come back, we're going to talk about our ski trip to skiing.
Hey guys, break one coming up here. We have Rey's theme by John Williams. I know this is from The Force Awakens, but this is probably my favorite music to come out of these most modern Star Wars movies. John Williams describes it as a adventure theme rather than a hero's theme. And you can kind of get that. Plus, today I'm feeling the best actor is probably Daisy Ridley. I said Oscar Isaac at the time of the recording, but today I feel like it's Daisy. Ask me again tomorrow, I might say Adam Driver. Ask me again, I might say Mark Hamill. Then I might say Carrie Fisher. I don't know, I just really liked this movie. I've also looked up more about the fans' reaction, and we were pretty much on point with our predictions about why they didn't like the movie. A lot of people didn't like how they handled Luke's legacy, they didn't like the tone of it. The thing is, though, this is kind of an overblown point. I was reading an article that was talking about how Rotten Tomatoes has a crappy system, so basically it puts greater weight on more extreme criticism. So, honestly, I think the truth is somewhere in between. I think fans are probably just more mixed than straight up hating it. One of the other things I was reading about, actually, was a article on Vox.com that actually argues that it didn't go far enough against what the fans wanted. And I gotta say, as much as I liked this movie, I think I kind of agree. They were saying that it could have gone darker. It could have subverted the universe more. Also, there's a real problem with women in this movie, which is kind of continuingly Star Wars legacy on that front. For all the new characters and all the new power that they have in terms of being females in this male-dominated universe, if you look at the movie, they still have remarkably little impact and little power on the way things go. That's controversial and something that I didn't really think about until days after. In a lighter story, Porgs. I really liked the Porgs. The creation story behind them is kind of cute too. While they were filming on this island in Ireland, I think, there were these puffins that kept on showing up and ruining all their shots. So Rian Johnson, the director, thought it would be cool if they made their own version of the puffins that would show up. I don't know, I kind of like that. It's just totally spur of the moment type filmmaking. Still sticking by my 9 out of 10, although I think this does bear more reflection. Coming up next, we're going to talk about our ski trip. Check it out.
I'm ready.
All right. Well, welcome back, everybody. Welcome to the show. I'm gonna be both people. I'm gonna have a conversation with myself.
Great.
Right now, what we want to have for you is
Field trip.
exactly.
Wow, have we got a treat for you today. Follow me, and together we can find a real human being. Today on Field Trips.
This is what it's like. Get on my side. This is what it sounds like. Here we go. A nice ride. It's not too scary, just a bit of fun. There we go.
How long had it been since you went skiing?
2 years.
2 years. Wow.
But before that, like 13 years or whatever, something like that.
Wow. So you skied when you were
Like 12
when
or
you were
13.
40, and then when you were
60.
in your
30.
30s.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. Cool. Well, I will say
What about you,
that
Jacob? When did you last ski?
for you at least, it doesn't seem like you took a day off. The last time I skied was like back in middle school, maybe, which is like
That was about my time.
6 or 7.
Yeah.
But I did go snowboarding. I remember my friend tried to teach me how to snowboard. Snowboarding is harder than skiing, I would say. Yeah, no, I had a rough time getting used to the skis at first.
Yeah.
Actually, it wasn't that bad. But
We went with a large group.
we did go with a large group.
Well, middle-ish group, I guess.
Middle-ish group. Went with a couple of people.
Yep.
I was probably the third best after the two people, one of them who was a 9-year-old and another one who had never skied before. I was probably better than both of them. Other than that, though, everyone else beat me.
I was third best.
You were fourth best.
Fourth best?
Third best?
Third
Oh,
best.
and I'd be third best.
No, because I'm better than you.
Right.
So then there's 2 people ahead of me.
Oh, yeah, I'm third worst. I
Yeah,
guess
you're
we
third
would
worst.
say it that
I'm
way.
third best.
Right, sure.
I'm third, you're fourth.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yes, I'm fourth. You're third. Yeah.
It was fun. There was so to give a vision of the happy snow world.
Yeah.
You're
Tell me. Paint me a word picture.
So you're in a cab. And you're driving towards. it's very important because you can't get anywhere in China without a cab,
That's true.
unless you want a car. So then you're driving down this road. It's dusty. It's sort of muggy. It's gray. No snow in sight.
It's pretty close to the airport, too.
It's pretty close to the airport.
It's like
5 minutes away.
Yeah, really close.
Then looming out from the horizon is a hill that's been carved, and it has 4 slopes
Legit.
with fake snow. Well, with real snow that's made.
Yeah, they made. You can see the snow
Machines.
making things.
Yeah.
On there,
So then they have these slopes and they have some ski lifts.
Uh-huh.
You pay 400 kwai, which is about $80,
Yep.
and
Yep.
then you're just there. And there's quite a few people there. I would say easily upwards of like 300 people.
Yep.
It was a lot of fun. I actually had a really good time.
Yeah.
My knees really hurt.
Yeah, that's the thing. You were saying your knees hurt.
Because I'm an old man.
So they have about like three holes, three hills, 3 holes, 3 hills, three tree hill, and one of them's the bunny slope. One of them's like the intermediate one, and then one's like their equivalent of double diamond. Although honestly, it probably wouldn't be that much.
Right.
It's pretty like if I was a real skier, I would be kind of unimpressed probably. But since I'm only a beginner, that was way more than enough. Yeah, you go in, you pay the money, you walk around, and you give you get a card, and you give the card to various desks, and they give you the stuff. And the funny thing is though, since not speaking Chinese is kind of like a staple of real human beings, you kind of just like fumble your way through, and you estimate your shoe size, and especially the helmet. Like the helmet I had was like way too big. Well, not way too big, but it was big for my head, so I like wore my hat underneath. Like the skis too, you're kind of just like, yeah, those look good. Sure, whatever. So a lot of it's kind of up to yourself. The 9-year-old did receive a hour-long lesson, I think.
Not sure if it helped too much.
Well, honestly, by the end, I was kind of impressed by the fact that he even was able to
Yeah,
do
he went
it
by
on his
himself.
own. Yeah, he was able to do it on his own. He kept on yelling at me that I wasn't going fast enough. But yeah, it was fun. I went on the double black diamond version a couple times or once, and for a glorious 3 seconds, you're at the top of this hill and you can see over really, really far. You can see pretty much all of, if you look in the right direction, all of downtown Dalian. And it's really beautiful up there. It was really clear, blue skies. And as I started to go down, it was like for 3 seconds, 3 glorious seconds, I was like, oh my God, I'm a real skier. And then boom. And just wipe out. So I walked the other part of the way down until it got more even, and then I put my skis back on. Because like
That was the same as me.
When you're on the side of the side of the hill, you can't really put your skis back on when they fall off like that. So I'm glad they fell off and they didn't break my leg.
I don't think that would have been. Yeah, I mean that's something I want to talk about with the skiing thing, is that it was very casual, which was nice.
How's that?
Like when you ski in Canada, I feel like there's a lot of pressure. People like look down on you if you can't like ski.
Do they?
Yeah, especially if you're like older.
Yeah, I mean you're Canadian, and from what you've said, you've only gone skiing like a couple times.
3 times now.
Yeah,
not much.
So
4 times.
But hey, you have the Canadian blood.
I don't really ice skate.
You're already better than me. Oh, I will say I'm better at this than I was at ice skating. I was pretty awful at ice skating. Shout out to Amanda Joyce, friend of the pod, trying to teach me how to do it. Yeah. So, anyways.
The skiing, I think, was very symbolic of like a typical Chinese visit.
Yeah.
And that there was just like things happening.
Yeah. Okay. So like, how would this be different in a
first off, like people are just flying down the mountains.
Yeah,
like
that's true.
Like there's not really any safety features. There's a lot of people. I mean, the bunny hill's very short and easy, so there's not gonna be too many crashes there. But like there is a lot of people hitting other people, and like the Gurmers who are watching the ski lifts are pretty blasé about the whole thing. Like it doesn't feel like there's a lot of safety going on.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of crowding around the.
Yeah.
So the bunny slope has like the escalator thing that goes up, and since I was hanging out with a 9-year-old for a while at the end there, everyone else had gone in. He kept on wanting to go up and again, and since it's been throughout the whole entire day, that area where everybody goes up onto the escalator thing is like basically ice.
Yeah.
And it's super slippery and it's hard to get up. So like it's just annoying because there are so many people. It seems like, at least for this thing, it seemed a lot small. It seemed small for the amount of people that were there.
Everybody was having fun, and like I had a really good time.
I did too.
But it was interesting too, because like skiing was a brilliant observation, but like why? Or like snowboarding.
Yeah.
Like originally, cross country skiing makes sense. Like, oh, I've got to go over this mountain and.
Oh yeah, I've got to go over this mountain.
Put the wooden planks on my feet.
Put the wooden planks on my
like,
feet, and I'm gonna go down.
If Norwegian stuff makes sense because they got the fjords and they've got to cross snowy areas. So you scoot over and then you make your way down the mountain, and that makes sense. That I can understand.
Yeah.
But like downhill skiing, just for like the fun of it, I guess you could extend it to all human activity.
Yeah.
Like, why do we do the things that just seem like rock climbing? Like what? There's no need.
Yeah. Yeah. Why do we do this?
Why do I need to climb a rock?
Well, I guess
it can't be that much different on the top.
In an early pre-helicopter age, that was the only way to get
up there.
I guess.
Yeah. But also, like, how much more can you learn by being on top of the rock? Right,
just for something to do.
Yeah, just like I'm gonna climb this.
Humans search for meaning.
Yeah, we just
trying to beat Breath of the Wild, and so they go to the top, and then they jump off and they hang glide down.
My purpose is to climb this tall thing, and like that's fine. But like, why do we admire that? Like, is it just because it's dedication to like something that's useless?
By the way, guys, we're gonna go to the Olympics, so
I have same feelings about the Olympics.
No, I get it.
The Olympics should be amateur, by the way. This is my opinion.
Aren't they amateur?
No, they're not. They're the world. You have to win 3 world-class championships to be even allowed into the. You have to place something to even be allowed in. Mm-hmm. That was because after 1980 something, there was a British guy called Eddie the Eagle. And,
there's a movie about him.
Yeah. He was the only British man to sign up for the Winter Olympics in the ski jump, and he sucked at it. He learned off the back of his garage shed. He'd never seen
really
snow,
funny.
and he would flail down the hills. And then after that, They banned any athlete who was an amateur. They said you have to compete on world-class things and places until they could cut
So
out
wait,
this-
Cool Runnings wouldn't have been able to happen? That's a great movie.
Yeah. And then
Oh,
there
that
was
sucks.
and then Eddie the Eel, who was
Yeah. Eddie the Eel?
Eddie the Eel. He was-
There's two Eddies.
there was Eddie the Eagle and Eddie the Eel.
What?
Yeah. And Eddie the
What
Eel,
is this?
Eddie the Eel was a swimmer in the Summer Olympics from I want to say El Salvador or something like that, or somewhere I can't remember exactly where. Anyway, he learned to swim 3 months before the Olympics, and when he got to the Olympics to swim in the whatever, he was like, that pool's way too big. He was like a full 2 minutes behind the last person in last place.
No,
And
see,
he's-
that's
and that's
amazing.
beautiful,
I
right?
love that.
That's what the Olympics should be. People going out there and trying their best, even though they're not ready. Even though
everybody gets gold medals.
and everybody just
Because we're all a millennial,
No.
entitled culture.
No, it's
who
not about-
can't get there. No.
you can have another thing for the top athletes. That's fine. Have that,
Yeah.
but have something for the amateurs.
What?
Have something for the schmucks,
Yeah.
the plebs, the people who just want to do it. Like back in 1901, I think it was 1901.
When they first started.
Or what was it? Canada won silver in the chamber orchestra competitions because they had a bunch of weird ones in the early years. They had poetry and sewing and a bunch of other ones. But Canada won silver in the chamber orchestra. Guess who got gold? Nobody. Nobody got bronze either. They just got silver. France won bronze for pottery. Nobody else placed. How do you place? How do you not give out the medal? Just give him the gold. He's the only one who did it. So my point is that the
okay.
Olympics, the sports should be inclusive. Sports should be about celebration of humans doing
Yeah.
stupid things.
Well,
you
then-
can have the elites.
Yeah.
That's fine. And I think there's a huge beauty in watching somebody skilled at their craft.
Somebody who can really do what they're doing.
Yeah, it's amazing to watch. It's fantastic. The power, the speed, the grace, the dedication, the devotion.
Yeah.
But I also want to see people who just want to try it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want to see...
Yeah. So what medals would you give all of us on our? What medal would you give yourself on the ski?
On the ski?
On
Well, I
the
got
ski.
bronze, clearly.
So you're playing into the.
Yeah.
So I don't place. That's your
Yeah.
third worst or fourth best.
You get 10.
I got 10.
No, I think the other thing too, like
okay.
that you have with these sports and these Olympics, is that you have this sort of weird, like pseudo-Nietzschean mentality of like
Pseudo-Nietzschean?
like the idea that the Übermensch, this like this is like the best of the best. The athletes represent somehow the pinnacle of humanness, right? That not only are they physically perfect, but they're also, because they're so dedicated, like emotionally,
Yeah.
like they're like these demigods, right?
Yeah.
But clearly that's not the case, because we got like Pretorius, what's his name? You know,
No idea.
the guy.
Oscar Pistorius.
It's Oscar Pistorius.
yeah.
You know, like they have flaws too,
Yeah,
and like
yeah.
to not acknowledge. I don't know. It just seems weird that we like pinnacle. Like the humans have this innate desire
Well, Ryan Lochte
to bring this back to Star Wars, to
yeah.
bring people up to like a pinnacle and like hold them in ideal. When you should really be like, why do I care about Luke? He's just a guy who got lucky.
Oh, I like Luke.
I like Luke too, but he got lucky fighting Vader.
You know what? What's something that I kind of missed from the skiing experience?
Yeah.
I wish they had also had sledding.
They did. They did.
Tobogganing. They did?
They kid sledding to the right. Yeah,
Oh man, could I have gone there?
Probably.
Not.
Probably.
Probably.
I wanted hot cocoa.
Yeah. So they did have a lodge, but it was like a fake lodge. They
Yeah.
had like a picture of a fire, and like some Chinese food.
Yeah, they had
Which
burgers.
isn't, yeah, I guess, but that's like China burgers probably. I didn't get it, so I shouldn't say that. But they didn't have like classic like lodge food.
Yeah.
You know, like hot cocoa and stuff. It wasn't carpeted either. It was just kind of this
It's
like
weird.
cafeteria looking place.
It was weirdly desolate.
Yeah. So it doesn't have the same hominess of like a classic ski lodge. That's one thing that I missed too. I missed hanging out in the ski lodge and playing like Crazy Eights, because that's always what we would do. One last story about like my previous experience. I remember we were in Smuggler's Notch, which is a place in Vermont. My family and I for a vacation one time, and I remember that's where I really learned how to ski for the first time. And it was like this whole entire resort. So you go and you stay in a room there and stuff. But the thing that I was most interested in, we did snowmobiling, we did skiing, we did all this different stuff. The thing that I was most interested in was the fact that they had a arcade.
Shows where your priorities are, Jacob.
And they had that game.
This is true to this life. Jacob hunts out arcades in China.
Well, I have one arcade that I like. But they had this arcade, and they had their arcade game where there's 4 different types of guys. There's one wizard. There's like a barbarian type guy.
So that's
a Valkyrie and
Dark Gauntlet.
Is that it?
That's Dark Gauntlet.
Yeah, but it was like an updated version.
Yeah.
I remember playing it a lot.
Dark
while I was
Gauntlet
there.
2.
Yeah. So that's what I remember about skiing.
It's a solid choice. No, skiing was fun. It reminded me that I have a lot to learn, and it's weird getting older.
And having your knees not work.
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah. I'm only 27. Like, I'm not old. What's going to happen to my body when I'm 37?
Real Human Beings fans, did you guess the right age? Tell us, and we'll send you a prize.
Wait, I'm actually 57. How old did you think I was based on my voice?
Que el cielo no es azul, ay mi amor, que es rojo dices tú, ay mi amor, ves todo al revés, ay mi amor, creo que piensas con los pies, ay mi amor, tú me traes un poco loco, un poquitito loco, estoy adivinando qué quieres y pa' cuándo, y así estoy celebrando que me he vuelto un poco loco.
All right, hello everybody. For our second break music, we have a song from one of my picks of the week, Coco, the new Pixar animated movie. Un poco loco. I just can't get enough of the music from this movie. I thought it was great. The kid that got to play Miguel, they should have let him sing more songs, I think. He was awesome. So my main point when I talk about Coco in our conversation coming up is about representation. And it comes out because of a conversation in Pop Culture Happy Hour, which is NPR's pop culture podcast. Shireen Marisol Meraji, who I butchered the name of when I was trying to get it last time, so I apologize. Shireen, I love you. I love your reporting. I love Code Switch. I'm so sorry. Anyways, she talks about her experiences of watching this movie, and that's kind of what sparked it on. So if you get a chance, check out the full episode. I do include the clip from the episode that adds some context. I also cut to a previous recording that I'm going off on a rant. The quality isn't as good, but I liked the energy that I had more in that one than the one that I recorded before. So hopefully it cuts together pretty well, but just a heads up, that's what it is going to be like. During our conversation about Coco, I didn't really get a chance to talk about some of the things that I liked beyond talking about it on a kind of representational level. So let me just kind of clear that up here. I loved the world design of Coco. I thought the world of the dead was so colorful, just so inventive. I loved the time period with like the old-timey technology and the streetcars. Just the overall feel of it was really great. The other thing Alden and I didn't get a chance to discuss was the fact that we didn't get to see the Disney short, quote-unquote, Olaf's Frozen Adventure, which from what I've heard about it is pretty awful. So yeah, I'm really glad that we didn't have to see that. China did not like that. Interestingly enough, Coco has beaten The Last Jedi in terms of box office here in China, which is interesting. The Last Jedi actually lost to a Chinese rom-com series that came up, whereas Coco, I think, was a great family-friendly kids movie that a lot of people went to. The theater that I went to was pretty packed for Coco, and it had already been out for a few weeks, So yeah, this pick of the week is a little bit longer because we've been away for a while, and we just wanted to give you a couple, hold us over, maybe? Yeah, it's really about us. It's not about you guys. No, I'm just kidding. Appreciate you guys listening, and we'll be back soon. Now on the pick of the week.
Tú me vuelves, eso está un poco loco, tu mente que despega.
Tú siempre con ideas, con mi cabeza juegas. Todo es un poco loco.
Hey, what's up? It's Picks of the Week. It's the part where we choose things that we want.
Choose things that are bad?
Or good.
Oh, we choose things that are good.
Yeah.
Cool,
But
man.
We had a depression week once where we picked things
We
that
had
are
a
bad.
bummer week.
Bummer week, yeah.
Bummer picks of the week.
But today is a good Picks of the Week, right?
Today's
Jacob?
a good picks of the week. Indeed it is.
You have a lot.
Indeed it is. Well, I have a couple.
I'll just go first, and then we can dive right into yours.
Sure, that's fine.
So my pick of the week is going.
I don't know why I'm laughing. It just seems like it's funny. Seems like it's gonna be funny.
No,
boy, it's gonna be funny.
Not funny.
Oh boy, it's funny. All right.
It's not funny.
Okay.
My pick of the week is. Did we do a Blade Runner thing? We did.
You don't know our own episodes?
My pick of the week is The Last Jedi.
Wait, what?
Yeah. What we just saw.
Usually it's something other.
No, it's not. It's not music this time. It's
The Last Jedi?
yeah. It's my pick of the week.
That's it?
Well, I don't have anything else, Jacob. I want death. Death would be nice right now. I'm very ill. I feel very poorly right now.
Wow. All
Did
right.
you laugh? All right.
Well-
A real pick of the week. Hold on.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
No, I'm thinking now. Jesus.
I mean, I have these ones are backloaded. Like I have other ones that I could do, but I don't want to overload anybody, so I'm just picking two.
I'll pick music.
Okay.
The Chieftains Christmas Bells album from Christmas.
What's the Chieftains Christmas Bells album?
It was a Christmas album released by the Chieftains, which is an Irish band,
Uh-huh.
and they have a lot of really good songs in it, and it evokes a lot of memories of my home. And I listened to it over Christmas, and it helped a lot. It was very nice to listen to.
Yeah.
I like the music. A shout out one is The Wren and the Furs.
The wren, oh the wren, he's the king of all birds. On St. Stephen's Day he got caught in the fur. So it's up with the kettle and it's down with the pan. Won't you give us a penny for to bury the wren? Hoppin' boppin' diddle da diddle daddle diddle daddle diddle daddle diddle da diddle diddle dum. Hop dum diddle o diddle da diddle daddle dum dum diddle da dum daddle diddle dum. Well, it's Christmas time, that's why we're here. Please be good enough to give us an ear, for we'll sing and we'll dance if you give us a chance, and we won't be coming back for another whole year. Hoppin' boppin' biddle-da, dip-a-dap, biddle-da, ba-doop-dap, biddle-da, ba-doop-dap, bum. Hop-dum,
Also, the Breton Carol.
Il est la varedem, et petra et candel. Peneuite tarzé, Isu alirme.
There's a lot of really good ones on there. Honestly, the whole album. It's just a very like traditional. It's got more obscure songs. It's got some nice.
Are they Christmas songs?
Yeah.
We listen to them, right?
Yeah.
We also listen to this is my pick of the week, but we listen to Christmas Carol too.
Yes. Christmas Carol. Oh, that was going to be my pick of the week.
Was it?
Yeah.
Well, tell me about Christmas Carol.
Well, Jacob convinced me that Christmas Carol was a good book. I used to be anti-Dickens, but then I listened to the audiobook by Patrick Stewart, and I'm like, now I get it. Very descriptive, very good message. Patrick Stewart's a legend.
He's great.
And
that's one of my favorite
excellent,
ones.
and I recommend it.
Yeah.
That's my picks of the week.
Wow,
Good
dude.
Christmas spirit. I
All
don't really
right.
have much more to add, honestly.
You're in a surprisingly quiet mood tonight.
Yeah, I don't know
for
why.
Alden McQueen.
Yeah.
Probably because you're sick.
Yeah. I'm trying my best, Jacob. I really am. It's tenuous.
So, for me, my picks of the week, I have a couple. Two of them are packaged together, package deal. I've been reading, finally, this book that my father gave me a couple Christmases ago. Burr by Gore Vidal, B-U-R-R, after the life and times of Aaron Burr, who was a early founder in the American Revolution.
Jacob's all about that early republic.
Well, I've been getting more into
He
it.
loves
and
the prequels.
It's this book that it's from the perspective of this one up and coming newspaper reporter, and he's dragged into this thing where they're trying to accuse Aaron Burr of being the father of Martin Van Buren, and thereby calling him a bastard because they don't want Van Buren to get elected. So
Right.
they're gonna say he's an illegitimate child. So there's this big conspiracy that this guy is trying to get Aaron Burr to like admit, but more than just that, Aaron Burr is just like happy to talk to this kid.
Yeah.
And he tells him all about his early times, and he tells him all about like the formation of the American Republic and the Revolutionary War and all this other stuff. And Gore Vidal himself wrote this as kind of a teardown of a lot of previous like mythologization of the founders. The thing is though that I really like about the book is it's very readable for one thing, but it's also like framed through this journalist's notes and also Burr's own voice, so you can never be quite sure what is truth and what isn't.
Right.
So a lot of it is about that. This kind of led me to also get back into my second one, which is Hamilton.
The musical.
The musical. And it's one that I listened to a little bit at the beginning, and now I've gotten a lot more into. And I really, really like this musical. I really think it's a good one. And I can understand why people don't like it, and I can understand why people think it's like silly and stupid. But there's something really amazing about it and genuine about it. And it's like a hip-hop opera about hip opera about Alexander Hamilton, who was the Secretary of Treasury and also Aaron Burr's one of his rivals / friends, and like their kind of back and forths. Aaron Burr kills Alexander Hamilton at the end in a duel, but it has a lot to do with like the formation of the country and like what could have been, and it has a lot to say about like these type of things, as well as immigration, because Alexander Hamilton himself was a illegitimate son of a Scottish immigrant from the Caribbean who moved to New York because he was like just by virtue of his own genius, and it's really interesting. And so the story is interesting, but also the music is really great too. Really enough, a lot of the rapping part actually doesn't get me as much as really what I think Lin-Manuel Miranda is really good at, and that's his orchestration and his harmonization. So
Jacob's a musical snob.
I am a musical snob. So like, for example, the Schuyler Sisters really demonstrates
who also sung in just remembering this, Oh Brother Art though.
Who?
The Schuyler Sisters. Aren't they a trio?
No, they're characters.
It reminds me of something from the Brother Art though.
Say that I'm intense or I'm insane. You want a revolution, I want a revelation. So listen to my declaration. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. And when I meet Thomas Jefferson, I'ma compel him to include women in the sequel. Work! Look around at how lucky we are to be alive right now. Look around at how lucky we are to be alive right now. History is happening in Manhattan, and we just happen to be in the greatest city in the world. In the greatest city in the world. 'Cause I'm the crown, so let's say that I'm intense or I'm insane. You want a revolution, I want a revelation. So listen to my declaration. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. Look around at how lucky we are to be alive right now. History is happening in Manhattan, and we just happen to be in the greatest city in the world.
But like they harmonize those two. Angelica and Eliza for me might be the two best parts of this.
Yeah.
Their voices are so good and so beautiful, and
nice.
Helpless and Satisfied and Wait for It, which is Aaron Burr's song, and also like there's so many good ones. Hurricane, Dear Theodosia is beautiful, like thing about a father to his daughter.
When you smile, I fall apart, and I thought I was so smart. My father wasn't around. I swear that I'll be around for you. I'll do whatever it takes. I'll make a million mistakes. I'll make the world safe and sound for you. We'll come of age with our young nation. We'll bleed and fight for you. We'll make it right for you. If we lay a strong enough foundation, we'll pass it on to you. We'll give the world to you, and you'll blow us all away. Someday, someday.
So it is coming to Rochester next year. Yeah, it'd be cool if I could see it then, but if not, that's cool too.
Yeah.
Anyways, I've kind of been stuck in that framework for a long time.
he has
and
been.
It's really cool. I don't know. It's my pick of the week.
It's
Get
a
back,
good- it's a
get
good-
back into it.
It's a good pick of the week.
So that was kind of my package deal, and I'm gonna go for another one. And that's one that we both did see, so I think we can both comment on it. But it's Coco. Pixar's newest
That's
movie.
what I thought you said. Dia de los Muertos has begun. It's the one night of the year our ancestors can come visit us.
I thought it might have been one of those made-up things. I was just...
Tonight is about family.
I am not like the rest of my family. There's something that makes me different. Great-great-grandfather, I want to be a musician, just like you.
All right, who's in there?
I'm sorry. Welcome to the land of your ancestors.
Miguel?
We're your family. You're skeletons.
You're alive!
You gotta get home before sunrise, or you'll be stuck here forever.
Ugh.
Security!
Hurry, come on.
It takes a while for it to fully sweep you into the story, but by the time it gets to the end, the emotional payoff of this film is this enormous wallop. It kind of turns the emotional arc of Up upside down,
Sure.
where the amount of crying you do in the first 15 minutes of Up is the amount of
Right.
crying you do in the last 15 minutes of
Right,
this.
exactly.
But think about how many movies have these terrible third act problems. To me, this movie didn't have those because there's so much emotion in it.
Yeah. I want to ask you, Shireen, how you felt about Coco. Are you a Pixar movie person generally?
I loved Up.
Okay.
But I wouldn't call myself a Pixar movie person.
Okay. So how did you like Coco?
I have to say I went in a little bit nervous because I know, for me, you know, when you put a movie like this in the hands of a big studio that's headed up by white guys and it's delving into a whole other culture and world, I worry that stuff is gonna, you know, seem off. And I have to say, there weren't any cringeworthy moments for me. I was so charmed. Everything was done just right. The mix of Spanish and English in the film felt really organic and not clunky or cheesy. It felt real. They used Mexicanisms like no manches and híjole, like very Mexican slang, Mexican and Spanish. And I loved it. I loved the way Mexican art was used and woven into the narrative. You know, papel picados, which are those colorful banners made of tissue paper. You see them in all kinds of Mexican celebrations. Well, they're used to help tell the story in the beginning. And alebrijes, which are these magical, mystical animal creatures that are made out of paper mache. They're folk art. They're carved of wood. They come to life in the land of the dead as these spirit animals. There's all these references to Frida Kahlo. She has this hilarious cameo in the land of the dead as this director choreographer. And then there's Ernesto de la Cruz, who, when I saw him, I thought of the Mexican singer Vicente Fernandez, aka Chente. You know, he's super famous and beloved in Mexico. He stars in all these old-timey films. He wears those mariachi uniforms that are like bedazzled with the gold-threaded sombreros. I was just like, man, this is so well done. And I have to say, Stephen, it was so well done that tears were falling down my face from the moment it started.
Oh, wow.
It made me so emotional, you know, like it was like, wow, this is on it.
One of the things I really, and this is sort of what Shireen is getting at, is one of the things I really admire about
Force Awakens. Well, I mean, that's the one thing about JJ. He can cast really well. Yeah. Like I think. I liked Rose. I loved Rose. I'm so glad that they didn't kill her off. I was actually worried about that. I honestly was not invested in like their fight until I saw him bring her back, and he's like, she needs a med kit, and I'm like, oh, thank God. Because and she's the first Asian like character in this movie too. That's important.
I really liked how
my SJW shit.
Fine, it's good.
No, yeah, well that's what my rant about Coco's gonna be.
Yeah. What, the fact that people got mad at it because it was
No, I mean specifically there's this. I'll talk about it at the thing too, but there's this part in Pop Culture Happy Hour where I can never say her name right. Marsheen Maharaji Ali. I cannot say her name right. She grew up. She's Puerto Rican, not Mexican, but she talks about the experience of like Glenn Weldon goes before, or no, Stephen Thompson goes before, and he's like, this movie it kind of sneaks up on you, and when it does, in the last 15 minutes, it just takes your tear ducts and just does not let go. And she's like, you know what, Stephen, that was a great point, but for me, this movie was that, but the whole time.
Yeah.
And that's why it's important.
Yeah. Because it's such a true...
Everybody should have the chance for that, to see themselves on the screen.
Yeah.
And not acknowledging your privilege and being angry when that comes up, that there's a girl
who's Asian
or a dude who's black, that is just so short-sighted and evil to me.
Yeah, but they could have just
so
cast a white guy.
when people are calling, there's nobody who's saying this. When people are calling me a cuck or like an SJW or anything like that, like fuck yeah, okay, I am. That's fine, because the other side is in my mind literally closing people off from their humanity, and I just hate it that people are making light of that type of thing without. To me, that's what it feels like.
So that's my point. That's my high road stuff.
No, it's good. It was a really good movie.
What do you think about the actual movie?
I think it was good. Typical Pixar. They know how to pull the heartstrings well.
Yeah. So it stars Miguel. It also has been out for a while, but so you guys have probably seen it. But in case you haven't, spoilers again. It stars Miguel, and he wants to be a musician, and he tries to find his grandfather through a series of whatever. He goes to the realm of the dead.
Yeah.
And Dia de los Muertos. I can't speak Spanish, so I'm really bad
Dios
at that.
de los Muertos.
But yeah, I really liked the music in this movie. Again, this is another music pick. I really like this music, and I really liked the narrative too, which is all about like family and remembering your family and remembering the good things and being proud of them, kind of no matter what type of thing, as long as just knowing that you love them, just because.
No, that's what got me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What part got you?
Just the message of you, it doesn't matter ultimately what you do, because the family will still love you. Mm-hmm. That's really blasé, but this message of you don't have to prove anything. Mm-hmm. This is a much more personal thing.
Yeah.
For me, but just not having to prove stuff to people, or seeing yourself as a failure because you're not living up to the expectations, when really they're just happy to see you.
Yeah.
Or they're just happy that you're there, and that's all you need.
It's simple emotion, but it's really powerful.
Yeah.
So, anything else you want to say?
No, I'm kind of sad now.
Well, I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's a good sad.
Sad and sick. Yeah. That's how we're going to leave Alden today. Check in next time to see if he's recovered, or if he's still sick.
Or if I'm dead.
Or if he's dead. It's just me. Hey, everybody. It's me.
The last human being.
I'm the last human being. Now the title makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Are we going to have a Jedi fight where I'm a Force ghost? No, that's not.
Oh, gross. I'm going to put in the piano if you're doing that.
Good.
No.
Good.
Okay, cool. Bye.
Okay. Faster. Let's see if this even works.
think I'm gonna start releasing some of these as like
bonuses.
Yeah, what can I call it? Like music bonus or like what's a good thing? Like Bing, something about Bing or something. Real human music.
No, hold on.
Real human music.
Found music. Real human music from the Zunes. Like something I want to include Zunes in some way.
Because like Bing.
Yeah.
Zunes.
Like another failed project. Or whatever you come up with is probably the best.
No,